What if I told you that losing 3 clients in 1 week was the best business lesson I ever learned? Last week, I got ghosted by a seller and had a seller switch agents for a cheaper commission. And to kick it all off, my tenant disappeared in the middle of the night after we gave them a break. But here's the crazy part. Within 48 hours of those rejections, 2 amazing opportunities showed up that were higher value with more income potential. And I finally figured out the secret when it comes to attracting the right people. If you've ever felt like you're working harder but not getting the results you want, this story is going to change the way you think about business relationships. Hey everyone, I'm Cameron Brio, your Moncton Realtor, and today I'm breaking down one of the biggest mindset shifts I've had all year. And this is not the video I would normally create, but I thought I would share. First, I'll walk you through exactly what happened with these 2 situations and why there were actually red flags and I should have seen them coming. Then there's the energy lesson that completely changed how I approach client relationships, and I hope that this part helps you if you've been struggling. Next, why getting paperwork signed upfront isn't about protecting yourself or being pushy. It's about identifying who's actually ready to work with you. And finally, how walking away from the wrong opportunities literally creates space for better ones to show up. So I hope that you get something from this. It's not real estate advice. This applies to businesses who are serving people. Let's jump right in. So here's what went down this week that became my biggest business lesson. We'll call him the ghost. It was somebody from social media that reached out about selling. We met, I reviewed the property, I discussed the process in great detail, and I did the work to outline a range of prices that we were going to discuss further after some improvements were made. They seemed engaged. I checked in. They said it sounded great. They asked my opinion if the list price could be pushed up. I said, with the current market compares, I strongly encourage you to complete all of the items you said you will do, and then we can reevaluate the data when you're done. We were set to meet in 2 weeks, and then it was complete silence. No return texts, no return calls. Then there was the commission stopper, a seller who was from my sphere and email list. We'd been back and forth for about 2 years. A couple of months ago, they reached out saying that they were ready to list, but they needed to be re-inspired on a home that fit their needs. I sourced the homes. I reviewed their property in detail and outlined the listing process. We talked price range and fees. They said I was their guy. Then they emailed saying that another agent offered a lower commission. The last and the real icing on the cake was that a tenant we had given a break to had disappeared in the middle of the night at the start of the month. Sitting there Wednesday night, I had this moment of clarity. This wasn't about them. This was about me and where I was putting my energy. Here's what hit me. Your energy goes where your energy flows. I was pouring my energy into people who weren't truly committed to working with me. And here's the thing. When you're chasing people who don't really want to be there, you are not available for the people who do. Think about it. Well, I was spending Saturday morning with someone who was secretly shopping my commission. There could have been a committed buyer who wanted to work with me, but couldn't get my attention. While I was creating detailed improvement lists and sharing my contacts for someone who was going to ghost me anyway, I wasn't creating content that attracts people who actually value my expertise. So my realization was that I was operating from scarcity instead of abundance. I was so worried about losing potential clients that I was giving away my expertise before anyone committed. So the right people are attracted to confidence, clear boundaries, and professional standards. When you operate from that place, better opportunities show up. This whole experience made me think about why people follow my content and want to work with me in the first place. It's not because I'm the cheapest. There are plenty of realtors who will charge less or discount their commission. And it's not because I promise easy solutions. Buying and selling is extremely complex. So here's what I actually think it is. Authenticity. I share real market insights, real challenges, and real stories just like this. People connect with genuine content, not sales pitches. I try to create educational content that helps people understand the market and how it could apply to their situation. When they're ready to make the move or they remember who taught them something valuable, they might reach out. So that brings me back to clear communication. I try my best to explain things in clear English, no industry jargon, no confusing process. When it comes to professional standards, I operate with clear systems and boundaries. People will respect that. When I'm confident and focused on the right opportunities, that energy is attractive. When I'm desperate and chasing anyone, That energy repels the right people, and in sales, sometimes you feel like you need to chase. So the lesson I learned is stop trying to convince people who aren't ready. Thank you to my mentor. I needed to hear that earlier this week, and it really hit home. So my lesson was to be aware and start attracting people who are. Here's also something critical that I learned. Verbal commitments without paperwork are simply just wishes. Both of these client situations could have been avoided if I had signed agreements. For the seller, if we'd signed the listing agreement, it would have meant that they were committed to working with me, not secretly shopping around. We already talked about the process and they were ready to take that next step after we'd reviewed what we were going to do. But here's what's interesting. When I mentioned agreements to 2 new clients this week, their response was immediate. Of course, Cameron, when can we sign? The right people want clarity. They want to know we're both committed to success and the same outcome. They're not scared of paperwork. They appreciate professional standards. The wrong people avoid commitments. They want all the benefits of professional service without obligation on their part. So what I learned was getting the agreement signed isn't about protecting myself from bad clients. It's about identifying good clients who are ready to work together. The biggest lesson is walking away when someone won't commit is not considered giving up. It's making space for better opportunities. Within 48 hours of those situations ending, 2 new opportunities showed up, better clients, clear expectation, potentially more income. But here's the real benefit. It's energy. Instead of spending my evenings stressed about people who are never going to commit, I enjoyed ice cream with my kids twice that week. And to me, that's what balance looks like. Your energy and your time are your most valuable resources. When you're wasting it on people who aren't committed, you don't have it available for people who are. Though it sucks walking away from business, it teaches you what you're truly worth, how to recognize commitment versus interest, the difference between being busy and being productive, that the right opportunities are always looking for you too. The mindset shift, instead of I can't afford to lose any potential client, it has become I can't afford to waste energy on the wrong clients. This experience completely shifted how I operate. I would never consider making a video like this, and I don't care if it gets any views. I focus on providing genuine value. The right people attract themselves. I'm upfront about my process, my standards, and my expectation from day one. No games, no confusion. Moving forward, I present formal agreements as a natural part of working together, and it's not something to apologize for. I invest my time and expertise in people who are committed to the process, and I operate from abundance, not scarcity. The right opportunities are always available, better clients, clearer relationships, and more balance. Hopefully, more income too. When you raise your standards, better opportunities will absolutely meet you there. Here's what I want you to understand about business and life, really. Where you put your energy determines what you attract. If you're consistently chasing people who aren't committed, you'll keep attracting uncommitted people. If you operate with clear standards and professional boundaries, you will attract people who respect that. I create content every day because I know there are people out there that want genuine expertise and personalized service. By staying focused on providing value instead of chasing everyone, the right people will find their way to me. So the lesson, stay positive, do great work consistently, and celebrate everything, even the redirects, because they're chasing space for better opportunities. If you're ready to work with someone who operates with clear standards and genuine commitment to your success, I would love to chat. I would love to hear from you. Have you experienced similar lessons about energy and attraction in your own business or life? Please drop a comment down below. It would mean the world to me to hear your thoughts. Thanks for watching, and remember, where your energy goes, your energy flows, and make sure it's flowing toward the right opportunities. Thank you, and I will see you in the next video.